I'm so excited to be going to KSUM's conference at KSU. That's Kennesaw State University. And the group is Kennesaw State University Men, founded by Sage Gerard. And the conference is entitled Male Students in Peril. And just being excited because I believe it's the first men's issues conference on an American college campus, and also because there is already some drama. There's a protest had been started at GoFundMe.com, and they're calling it positive protest of men in peril. And I made a comment already. It's so obvious they don't even have the title of the conference right. Okay, positive protest of men in peril. The name of the conference is Male Students in Peril. So you know how well they're going to pay attention to facts here on in, you know, the way feminists usually do. So it's going to be exciting. Let me read some of the information here that they. I'll just read it off. It's so hilarious. Positive protest of men in peril, and I'm sure you know the story of when it first got started. Actually, they were a little short on money, and Sage Gerard, who founded KSUM, kicked in the remaining money to kick off their protest. I believe he did it because he believes in free speech, and if they want to protest us, it's going to be the battle of the minds, battle of the reason. We'll bring reason to the table. And he did make a nice comment here. Sage Gerard from AVFM and KSUM here. I've covered the difference. Have fun proving to the world you oppose free speech and evidence-based evaluations of character. I really love that. But I printed out all the updates because now actually they're up to $1,200 and they've closed out the fund. I believe they close out the fund and they close out the comments, of course. So let me just read the premise of this GoFundMe.com positive protest. If you ask me, they're protesting free speech, which I'd like to see them defend that. We are a large and growing group of Kennesaw State University students, faculty and staff who disagree strongly with the conference being held on our campus on November 1st, 2014, entitled Men in Peril. And it's not entitled Men in Peril. It's Male Students in Peril. And I believe males on campus are down to, I believe, 35 to 40% of the student body. So, you know, I believe they are in peril. I go on. Though we strongly believe in equal rights for both genders and agree with the premise that the community of men and boys have many valid issues that deserve attention, we hold that the so-called men's rights movement does not take the correct approach to addressing these issues, and moreover, that the approach taken by this group fundamentally undermines the psychological safety of others. We have expressed these views in a blog that can be found here. Trigger an NSFW warning at mensrightsinfo.tumblr.com. The purpose of this GoFundMe is to provide support for a student-led effort to peacefully, positively show disagreement with the free speech. No, my mistake. I slipped. Positively show disagreement with the Men in Peril conference while bringing attention to the important issues surrounding the conference. Don't know how you're going to do that. The funds will be used to create an installation art project with two major components. One, those opposed to the men's rights movement will be allowed to provide a voice for them by providing their reactions to some of the more heinous quotes by men's rights leaders in an anonymous format. Number two, factual, realistic information about rape and assault statistics will be presented. Well, we haven't heard those facts before. 1 in 4, 1 in 5, you know, women will be offended. Assaulted. We welcome your contributions and hope that our peaceful protest will not only shed light on the conference so that others can decide for themselves whether the men's rights movement is truly doing good for men and boys, but also that it will shed additional light on the important issues surrounding sexual assault on college campuses. Well, at no point do I know of at any time that we didn't think sexual assault on college campus was not an important issue. So I'm excited about this because they're saying they're a positive protest, and they actually we're halfway there. They're actually admitting that men and boys have issues. We've half won already. They're admitting we have issues, and it's not going to be too hard for me or any of us to show that they're not addressing those issues. We are trying to address those issues, and they're trying to stop us. That's it. That's what's happening here. But they're going to convolute and twist their tongue. They're going to get their tongue in a knot trying to reason or rationalize what they're protesting against. This is funny. Why I'm also so excited about attending this Male Students in Peril conference, because, yeah, feminism has taken over our colleges and universities, but there are still free-thinking people that go to these colleges, and we are trying to get through to them. As we can see, Sage Gerard has gotten a men's group that cares about men and boys together at his university, and we're coming to rally and help him with that. And there's going to be many men and women, fair-minded men and women on campus that day, November 1st, that I want to speak to. The conference is free. I'm going to put the information in the low bar. I welcome all Kennesaw State University students to come to the rally and attend the conference. It's free. I'm going to try to round up as many fair-minded people that I spot there. I made up a bunch of signs. I'm going to show them to you because I believe there's a lot of feminists that are going to be watching this, and people on the fence watching my video. And I'm going to show you all my signs, which means all my ideas. You're going to have the jump on me because you're going to know my issues before we get there. So I'm going to show you the men's rights issues right now, and you can decide whether you agree with these issues, and if you have any opposition to them. I want to hear them when I come to Kennesaw on November 1st. You're going to know me because I want to distinguish, and I'm proud of myself. I'm a proud MHRA, men's human rights activist. I care about men, boys, women, and girls equally, equality. And let me just continue on reading this positive protest thing at GoFundMe, because it's so interesting that they're telling us what their protest will be. And I'll just tell you right now, it's going to be on the green, the campus green. I checked it up on the map. It's going to be the green is right in front of the building that the conference is at. So I'm going to try to interact as much as I can. The beauty of this is, I'm going to read it now. They say that they're open. They say that they care about men and boys' issues. As I said, we've almost won halfway there, admitting openly, for the record, that men and boys have issues. And as I said, they're not, I'm going to prove that they're not addressing those issues. And the joke is, the horror of it all is that they're protesting, they're stopping us from helping men and boys who they say have issues. So what I like is that they say that they're open to listening to us. One quote that I'm going to read to you later is that not only don't they want to censor us, they want to amplify us. I hope they're going to have a microphone for me because I will willingly take it. So let me read a little bit more on the details of this protest. Just to give you more details on what your donations will help you pay for. We will be purchasing yard signs If funds do not allow, we will purchase plain white ones and write on them with Sharpies, as I've done. If funds allow, we will have them professionally printed. Either way, they will contain factual information sourced from government agencies and or peer-reviewed journals regarding rape, sexual violence. We will be purchasing approximately 100 of these. If we can find a source for them, we'll be purchasing plastic figures to represent unreported rapes, sexual assaults. Ideally, these would be weatherproof and in the shape of people or just heads. If we can't find them or funds don't allow, we will purchase plastic and cut out these shapes ourselves. We will need approximately 150 of these, 1.5 times as many as the reported cases. We'll be purchasing life-size figures, hopefully of weatherproof material, to physically stand up in protest of the conference. On these will be written the reactions of KSU community members to the words of Paul Elam and other men's rights activists. We will be purchasing as many of these as we need to represent the voices of those who wish to protest the conference. All of these supplies are relatively inexpensive, but we would love for the project to be large in scale and take up as much of the campus green as possible. Thank you so much. So you want to have as large a protest against free speech as possible. That's going to look great. I had made a comment about them saying the part where they agree with men's issues, but we're not going about it the correct way. So I made a cool comment, which seems to have disappeared, about you're going to tell us what the correct way is? What is the correct way? So I get a response. We would like to ask that all commenters on this site remember to keep things positive, fact-based, and respectful. Positive, okay. So feminists are always positive? Is that true? Not true. So to respond to one of our commenters, this is precisely what we mean when we describe the correct way to address an issue. Positively, so that others feel safe expressing themselves as well. Are we allowed to express ourselves? Well, I continue. Based in facts, not rhetoric or emotional appeals, and respectfully, recognizing that differences of opinion do not undermine the basic humanity of all of us. You know, I really do like that, actually, because I'm going to go into the conference. I'm going to enjoy the conference because there's amazing speakers there. Paul Elam, Janice Fiamengo, Dr. Janice Fiamengo, Karen Strawn, Jonathan Taylor, and of course Sage Gerard. Brilliant people with brilliant insights. I mean, although the conference is called Male Students in Peril, the beauty of it is that they can really speak as to whatever they want to at spur of the moment. Maybe they'll come up with something cool. Maybe they'll speak about the crazy people outside protesting free speech. You know, the so-called liberals have been turned into censors and more traditionalists. Very traditional, conservative, to stop people from espousing new ideas, isn't it? Well, this is at the mensrightsinfo.tumblr.com. This whole thing is supposedly has men's rights info in it, but it's nothing but really a feminist shill website to spread disinformation. But I'm going to read this right here, this one very pertinent part pertaining to the positive protest. Does disagreeing with someone mean that you are censoring them? When initial discussions began happening around protesting the Men in Peril conference, there were some major concerns. To summarize, the main ones were: 1. We do not feel safe doing so. We fundamentally do not feel safe on the KSU campus, either physically or emotionally. Emotionally? Are you a baby? Are you babies? What, do you have emotional problems? That's what I would assume. If we have to treat you emotionally as damaged, maybe you shouldn't go. Don't attend. I don't know why you're attending college. We do not feel safe to express our disagreement with the KSU Men Group or AVFM. Should we, in an ideal world, feel safe enough to walk around on the sidewalk with sticks and paper signs calmly expressing the fact that we disagree with the way that a group is approaching a very important issue? Yes. Do we? Absolutely not. Well, that's cool, because I'm going to be there with my signs. And good. If you're too scared to meet me face to face with your signs and your arguments, well, you have either weak arguments or you have weak speakers or weak constitution, because I'll be there and I'll be spreading my views to undecided people on campus. Okay, number 2. We really don't want to take this disagreement to a negative place, or at least we don't want to remain there or be dragged there time and time again. We have said repeatedly that we, and feminists in general, take men's and boys' issues very seriously, and as such, we are very concerned with raising awareness around those issues at the same time that we are raising awareness around the KSUM men, and AVFM groups. So although protesting in the traditional fashion was many people's first instinct, it didn't feel like the right response. We wanted to do something to express our disagreement, but something that in no way, shape, or form silenced the conference and at the same time brought additional attention to the important issues they are attempted to address. As an aside here, I like your rhetoric. It's cool. I would like you, feminists who say that you know or you're aware of men's issues, tell me what they are. You know, I mean, you're going to cheat. You're going to look at what I say, and then you're going to say, oh yeah, those are the men's issues. But, you know, you never heard those 2 words until we brought them up. Men's rights. All of a sudden, you've got it covered, huh? Thus, we came to the idea of the positive, peaceful protest on the campus green, which is coming along beautifully, thank you for asking. We have raised plenty of money to create the display and have focused on getting organized and planning our activities. What has served to distract us, only very slightly, is the constant sniping and henpecking. You mean about free speech? Would you hate that henpecking? On the GoFundMe site and elsewhere. Not only did Sage make a lovely donation, 100% of which will be donated to local sexual violence centers, accompanied by some snide remarks, but now a few commenters are attempting to make it sound like we are silencing them. Maybe me. Shutting them down, falsely accusing them, etc. Here is our perspective on that issue. Welcome, commenters. Comment away. Well, they close now, though. Guess we can't comment away. Comment loudly, frequently, and as often as possible until we're sick of hearing it. No, I added that. Sage, make as many YouTube videos as you possibly can. We will help you share your message as widely as humanly possible so that more and more people can judge for themselves whether your message is as sound and logical as you say it is, or whether it is as fundamentally flawed and vitriolic as we seem to think it is. Well, I absolutely love this because Sage Gerard has amazing videos, as do many MHRAs, and AVFM, avoiceformen.com. Amazing stuff there to read. We care about equality. I love the publicity you're giving us because it's funny. You think you're embarrassing us? You think by shining a light on us that you're going to turn them off to us? We care about the real issues. We're talking real stuff here that most people agree with. Shared parenting. Most people agree with shared parenting. Feminists don't. Male genital mutilation. That's on the decline. Men human rights activists are taking care of that. Women's groups are not. These are just a few things. Okay, here, let me put it in a nutshell. This is in bold type. Right at the end of their statement. I love this. To clarify, hopefully once and for all, we in no way want to censor you. We want to amplify you as much as we can possibly can. Because we believe that the more people who hear your message, the more people who will oppose you after making their own decision regarding the validity of your message. So our message is equality, and you feminists think that people will reject the message of equality rather than victimhood and blaming as what your message is. But I absolutely love this. I'm going to go to the conference. I'm going to bring my signs, and I'm going to firmly speak to you and speak out publicly about men's issues and boys' issues. And you say you want to hear us, so you will not shout me down. As you say, you want to amplify us. So I expect when it's my turn to speak, I will have a voice. And argue with me if you can. Man, that is going to be some scene. So they say they're trying to fill the campus green with, I guess, a bunch of figures, plastic, cardboard cutouts, and signs. I assume that they're probably going to pick the same old out-of-context quotes from Paul Elam from years back, and you know, because they're a little shocking, or they take them out of context and they look bad. So they believe these couple of quotes, and they're going to. That'll be the extent of the quotes of men's rights activists. They're not going to quote any other females or any real issues. But I got the issues right here. Here we go. I'm telling you, the gloves will come off, okay? This is my free speech. I'm going on a public campus, and they may have kangaroo courts in operation on campus, but I'm not going to be dating a woman or forcing her or staring at her sexually. I will not commit any staring rape or anything like that. I'm going to talk issues, human rights issues. There you go. You know, talk about assimilation. I mean, it's not a conspiracy theory if it's really happening. So here's my signs that I'm going to be using at the protest. I'm going to probably make some more. But these are big issues. And for you feminists out there, I implore you to think about these issues, because many of us who are in the men's human rights movement, some of us anyway, have come from the feminist camp. Warren Farrell, he's one of our most outspoken men's rights activists, doctor and author, but he was on the board of directors of New York City Now until he got disillusioned, and you know, seeing that feminism does not really care about equality, it's really for female privilege. You can have the advantage of seeing all my issues ahead of time and think about them, try to rebut them. So here's my issues. I want to see some issues from you guys, not the same old shit, rape culture, 1 in 4. Look, we already have laws against rape. You can't stay on something that you've already won. What is something pressing that you need, that women need help with, that we're not addressing? Because make your argument. I will listen. We will listen. But you have to listen to us. Okay? How's this? Men suffering in silence is male suicide epidemic. 4 to 10 times the rate for women. So yes, there is a suicide epidemic amongst males, and the country doesn't seem to really care. That's a men's issue. How about this? Pretty strong words, huh? Feminism is the BORG? Are you assimilated yet? The BORG and feminism means no desire for negotiation or reason, only assimilation. Isn't that true? Seems to be true, right? The people protesting men's and boys' issues, or just the right to speak about them. Feminists, the BORG, does not like non-assimilation. You must assimilate. I have another poster along those lines. Reproductive rights for men, as women have. Women have reproductive rights. No man or government can force a woman in this country to be a mother against her will. She's free. She's got reproductive rights. Men don't have that. Big issue for us. What's your answer on that, feminist? Are you working on that? Crickets. I did not consent. Stop male genital mutilation and female genital mutilation. This is sex abuse, child abuse. It's unethical. I did not consent. I was mutilated as a baby. I'm going to bring this up at the right on campus. I was mutilated. Were you? Chances are, many of the men were. Women, not so much. We protect women from genital mutilation. Boys, we pay doctors to do it. Terrible, horrible. Boys, baby boys die every year from botched circumcisions. Die. Many more are mutilated and suffer from a lifetime of pain for surgery that's absolutely unneeded. I love this one. I'm going to be adding more to this, but feminism has infiltrated atheism, politics, family courts, academia, the media, the economy, and now gaming. You know what I want to add to this is the TED Talks, because I saw a horrible guy, horrible mangina. What was his name? Jackson Katz. Oh, horrible. I'm going to put TED, because feminists have ruined that too. I love this one. Look at it. See, this is a history of enlightenment. Human rights, yes, check. Civil rights, check. Women's rights, got to get them, check. Gay rights, equality, right? Gay rights, check. Animal rights, can't be cruel. Animal rights, check. Well, what do we have down here? Little old men. Where's the check? We're working on that. That's funny. When I first started in this movement, I was with Mel Fight, and one of his pitches was that animals and gay rights have more of a membership than men's rights. Feminism is patriarchy in lipstick. I love this one. It's funny because feminists have really taken over every institution in our society, and to my mind, most people's mind, they've pretty much solved every problem for women. So they say that that there's this patriarchy that they want to overthrow, but they're calling it a patriarchy, but it's really feminism, and they don't want to overthrow it. They like it the way it is, exactly the way it is. You know, men getting thrown out of their houses, women getting custody of children. You know, men being drafted, you know. This is exactly how they like it. They like the privilege of being female. So that's why I say feminism is really just this patriarchy, and they're pretending like they hate it, but they don't want to change a bit of it. Ask them, what do you want to change in the patriarchy, feminists? I want to hear it. You know, big things. Look at this. Social justice warriors are the new censors. That's funny. The affirmative consent laws, all feminist-based. That all came from the whacked-out left radical feminists. Now they are barging into our bedrooms. That's funny. They have a lot in common with conservatives and traditionalists. They're very much anti-sex, aren't they? And anti-free speech. And anti-privacy. You know, the right to privacy. That's what Roe v. Wade was based on, the right to privacy. But now feminists want to make sure that we're given affirmative consent to any sexual move. Get the fuck out of our bedrooms. You're crazy. This is going to be a good one. This is going to be good at the protest. You saw it here. Feminists against human rights. I love it. What else? What else is it? This protest. You know, you people should be on our side, and I'm hoping to really seriously get some people that are in the crowd to join me at the conference. Sit down and talk it over. Love it. Men's rights are human rights. It's a no-brainer. How can you argue with that? Men are human, yes. And as such, we have rights and we have problems. Why don't you listen to what they are? Let's see, where am I? Look at this, huh? This really is a lot of truth right here. Feminism in theory, good. You know, the dictionary thing, the Emma Watson dictionary thing. But feminism in practice, bigoted and misandric. Misandric is hatred of men. That's pretty obvious. I would like them, feminists, to actually fight for equal rights, because then men would have reproductive rights right along with women. And we wouldn't be paying child support because we'd have shared parenting. But no, feminists do not agree with these things. Here's another one. Yeah, right up the alley. What was I just saying? What men's issues are feminists working on? I'm listening. I am listening. Because with all those feminist groups, you've got to be able to be making some headway on the men's issues front. Yes? Keep us informed on that. You know, I was mutilated as a baby. Were you? That was only because I was a male. No other reason. They didn't even know me. They didn't ask my consent. You know, I rather would be intact. I'd rather be intact with my full penis and foreskin. But what the fuck did they do to us boys? And what they're still doing today, every day, in this country. Yeah. This is a big question. I'd like maybe you, all you academics, with all your fancy words. Feminism is what you're all standing behind, right? Well, why does the greatest feminist organization oppose shared parenting? That's equality. You don't believe in equality. You're an embarrassment to call yourself egalitarians. Yeah, this is good. Like this. It's a little bit game show stuff. MHRA Jeopardy, patriarchy, pay gap, rape culture, war on women. What are made up things to keep feminists relevant? Correct. Ding, 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 ding. No, feminism relevant. Got that wrong. Now, check this out. Think about this one. Men's reproductive rights equals women responsible for their choice. So in other words, the only person who has choice in event of a pregnancy is the woman, because she can have an abortion or not. She has that right, and we agree with that right. But we also want men to have that equivalent right to choose not to be a parent. And when a woman makes a choice to have a baby, that's her unilateral choice. And if she wants that choice on her own, she's got to take the full responsibility. She can't force someone into parenthood, which that's what women do every day in this country. Force men into parenthood against their will. Listen, women, you want to have choice, have the child if you so choose. If the father doesn't want to be a father, he's left absolved of responsibility and rights. You take it on yourself because you want the child. So I can't wait to see all you people over there in Georgia, November 1st. So I hope I make a lot of friends and convince a lot of people down in Georgia at the Male Students in Peril conference. And really, one of my posters that I am going to make up is, I love women, I hate feminism. I love people. That's why we call ourselves the men's human rights movement, because as people, we're all wonderful. Most of us believe in equality and righteousness, but there has been propaganda and feminist media censorship that doesn't let the truth be known, that domestic violence is a 50-50 deal. It's reciprocal. There is no pay gap. Issues like this we're going to discuss, and we are a truth movement, and we're gaining widespread acclaim and followers. This is a great thing for all humanity. See you in Georgia. As an addendum, that one sign I had, you saw it here, feminists against human rights, and I was going to add to it, and also free speech. But you may think that that's wrong because I just read that these protests don't want to censor us, but some of the faculty and students, I believe, if you read the story about KSUM and Sage Gerard, read the whole story. It's on A Voice for Men and other places, Sage's videos probably, saying that he was, for some reason, sanctioned as possibly violent when there was no basis for it at all. I think it was a smear campaign to stop this conference from going on and to actually stop his group from staying alive on campus. So they tried to shoot him and his group down, and in essence this conference, but since they couldn't do it, they figured that these groups would look silly and look like they're against free speech, so they're taking a different tact. Well, actually, some of them did try to stop us from speaking, but now their goal is to counter our arguments with their own arguments, which is great. Okay? Take care.